And one position that I would like to feel pretty good about is the left guard spot. And that is where Aidan Banfield comes back, the sophomore who started last year as a true freshman, played 649 snaps a year ago, graded out with a 60.5 run block grade, a 63 pass block grade, and a 61.4 overall grade. Allowed 3 sacks, did allow 19 quarterback pressures. And look, those numbers aren't mind-blowing by any stretch. I do think that that's pretty solid for a true freshman. That's a nice place to start, especially for a guy that was dealing with some injuries throughout last year. Now he's looking to take over that spot again this year and reassume that role, but it's not guaranteed that he is going to be able to do that. Daniel King, the transfer from Troy, is pushing him a little bit, but I think when you look at it, you would probably like Aidan Banfield based off of what he did last year, the fact that he has the time spent at the power conference level as opposed to Daniel King, who is coming in from that group of 5 level. Maybe early in the season, you lean on Aidan Banfield, give him a chance to prove himself, and then if it goes wrong, you've always got Daniel King that's there that can rotate in for him, which I think we're going to see anyways. But I do think you're hoping going into the season that a guy like Banfield can continue to grow in this offense.
I think what you're really banking on is just growth from year 1 to year 2, and some of those growing pains that he endured as a true freshman kind of get limited here in a second season. Because I believe it was it the Minnesota game where we came on here and were really impressed with what he did. I remember we talked about him.
Game,
yeah, we talked about him in a way where it's like, okay, this guy could be a difference maker. And I just think kind of the wear and tear of the physicality at the power conference level, maybe got to him. He wasn't the biggest issue among the offensive line a year ago. Of anything that you want to see different, you'd like to see the hurries, be limited. 19 feels like a little too high, but then again, that's nitpicking, and he was a true freshman. He was going to get beat every now and again. And so I really think of all the returning guys, maybe he's the guy that stands to grow and improve the most, just because of, there was a lot of good that was on his film from a year ago that just kind of got overlooked by other issues among the offensive line. And so, another year, in the weight room, he should be bigger, faster, stronger. I think he's going to be better coached. You mentioned the rotation. I think his body will be fresher the longer the season moves along, because he won't be asked to play, I think, every meaningful offensive snap this upcoming year. And so for a guy that we kind of praised at different points in the year last year, I think he's poised to take a big step forward. And if he can do that and solidify Carolina's offense, in terms of in between the tackles, I think that goes a long way for a running game that I think is going to want to try to run the ball better up the middle than they have in years past.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. He's probably a breakout player. I don't know if I will put him on my breakout list because it's so hard to really see breakout players along the offensive line. The way that you're going to find out if a guy is a breakout player, if you're looking for stats, is through Pro Football Focus and how they grade certain guys. The amount of pressures that he allows and everything like that. I do think those numbers are going to go down this year. I think another year in the weight program, this time in Bill Belichick's weight program, I think is going to be different. I think the focus on physicality is certainly something that will probably blend well for him. And then, I think just another year at this level, he learned that there are quicker defensive tackles. There are some things that he has to be able to do a little bit faster than what he did at the high school level. So I think you could see a significant jump. And the other thing to remember about him was this was a guy that was not rated inside of the top 500 prospects in the 2024 recruiting class. He was a guy that was ranked in the 800s. And for him to come in and make that much of an impact that early really shows you the type of talent that he has and the type of commitment that he has. And I think he is going to be a guy that's going to take a huge step this year for Carolina.